Hi, everybody. Can you let me know if you can hear me, please? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes! Thank you, Evelyn. Oh my goodness, what a pain in the neck. Yeah, that just goes to show how you need to test your equipment. I have this great MacBook, but my internal mic doesn't work. And so last minute, I realized I need to use my headset for the live. And I guess it just wasn't toggling into the correct input. I don't know. But I was stressing out trying to get the settings on the old live that I just did to pick it up, but I guess it ended, so I had to make a new one. Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. I was saying, actually, when I wasn't being heard, that doing a live is kind of like having a birthday party and hoping that your friends show up. And you did. Thank you for showing up. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. If you're American, I am Canadian. So Thanksgiving for us is in October, but I still celebrate American Thanksgiving. But it's so funny because I live in Malaysia, and it just doesn't have any resemblance to Thanksgiving. There's no fall, there's no seasons change, there's no pumpkin pie, there's no turkeys, there's no fall weather. There's just a lot of sun and warmth. And so it's kind of funny around the holidays. I really miss the seasons changing and, just the beauty of Canada and also all the fun stuff that goes with the holidays. But I am going to an American Thanksgiving with some American friends tomorrow. And I'm making a stuffing. So, wish me luck on that. So, happy Thanksgiving. Did everyone teach classes this morning? Let me know if you taught classes. Lori is a fellow Canadian. Awesome. Hey, Lori, welcome. Danny's here. I get so inspired watching all of your lives, Danny and Kelly and Cindy. And, it's just encouraged me to do a little bit more. And so the topic for this morning or tonight is recruiting. I could really talk about recruiting all day long because I've put so much effort into it this year and really love doing it. So I'm going to kind of talk about recruiting in three parts. I want to talk to you about how I built my little recruiting business from 0 to a little over 200 in a year, and what I sort of did to encourage referrals and build it to the numbers that it is. Then I want to talk a little bit about the referral changes that came out from VIPKid. So this is kind of specific to VIPKid, but I'll also talk a little bit about Gogokid recruiting. If you're a VIPKid teacher and you've been a VIPKid teacher for more than a few months, you'll know that on October the 1st, there was an announcement that the VIPKid referral program is going to change. And they announced some pretty drastic changes that caused a lot of teachers to get really stressed out, myself included, in regards to recruiting and what was allowed, because we certainly didn't want to be in breach of any new policies and rules. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, what I've learned since then, how I'm kind of navigating that and what my plans are going forward, and also my tips for recruiting. So whether or not you are a teacher and that's all you want to do, that's awesome. When I got hired, all I wanted to do was teach. I didn't even know what recruiting was. I can't even remember if I used a referral teacher or not. But this has become a big part of my job and a big part of what I do. So I wanted to share it for those that are interested. And please ask questions. I'm going to kind of ignore the chat a little bit because it tends to get a little bit distracting, but I do like seeing what people say. Yeah. Yes, I have a couple of my referrals in here too, Janie, and yeah, awesome. Glad you guys could make it. So there's 12 people in the chat. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I would love that. If you would like to give it a thumbs up, I would also love that too. And please interact in the chat function, and I'll try to answer questions and engage with you a little bit. So let's start with my recruiting journey. So when I started with VIPKid, it was January of 2018. So we're almost at 2 years. I got hired in January just before Chinese New Year, which was kind of a bad time, but I got really fortunate and picked up a really consistent schedule off peak hours. So if you know me and you know my teaching schedule, I never teach during peak times. I teach before peak times because I live in Malaysia and I love to have my evenings here free. And so I like to get as many classes as I can between like 2 and 3 to 6 p.m. So that's sort of how I built my schedule from the beginning. And I recruited one other teacher that was in my school. So I used to be an international school teacher in China, and then now in Malaysia. I taught here for 4 years at the American school. I taught third grade, and then my last 2 years, I was the tech integration specialist for kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. So I recruited one teacher, and that was my first teacher in the first quarter. So that was like January, February, March. And then I made a video on YouTube for male teachers because I started thinking about what was missing when I was going through the process. And there weren't a lot of male teachers on YouTube. So I decided to make a video, and I got a couple of people that watched it. Like they must have been searching for YouTube male teachers, something like that. And I had a couple of people reach out to me. And in the second quarter of last year, I got 3 referrals. And when you hit 3 referrals in a quarter, you get the first milestone. I think it's $100. So I think I had 3 referrals plus I had that $100. That was $400. So that was really cool. And I started to think about how can I invest maybe a little bit more time and effort into this. And I was so inspired by people that were doing really well with recruiting, and I watched really carefully. I watched very closely, like what people were doing, what was working, how people were getting referrals, and how they were successful. I didn't do very well, to be honest with you. In 2018, I referred about 12 to 15 people, I think, which I guess is more than a lot of people, but I wasn't putting a ton of effort into it. It was a few people that I knew, it was a few people from that YouTube video, and a couple of people from some Facebook groups. And I then, in December, I was going on holiday. So this is 1 year ago next month. I was going on holiday to Bali, I think it was, as you do when you live in Malaysia. Why not? Go to Bali, go to Thailand. And I was in Bali and got an email that I was in Club Yellow. So if you don't know what referral clubs are, they no longer exist. But Club Yellow is for the top 15 recruiting teachers in the company. Now, you have to understand, I had recruited like 15 people in total that whole year. So I think in that quarter, I had recruited like 11 or 12. And I thought, they must have the wrong guy. Like, there's no way I'm in that top 15 with such a low number. No, it was me. I was in that category. And, I was so surprised that there weren't hundreds of teachers recruiting hundreds of people every quarter. And I just was blown away by that I was one of the top 15. So it really encouraged me to keep recruiting. And January is when I really started like hitting the pavement hard with recruiting. And I started thinking about, what I could do to increase my referrals, what I could offer referrals, how I could, be a better referring teacher. Because those poor people that got referred to me in 2018, I really didn't do very much. I definitely wasn't an absent referrer, but I didn't have, the same knowledge that I do now, and the same experience, and the same resources to offer them. So, in January, I started seeing my numbers slowly climb, and I have hit, fast forward to now, just over 200 in 2019. And then about, I can't remember, Gogokid, about 45 or 50 now with Gogokid. So, I tell people that it really is possible to get there. I mean, look, I literally had hardly anything in 2018, and in this last year have just been able to work really hard. It is a lot of work, and it does require, effort and commitment, and just a real focus on it to build it up to those numbers. But I definitely am someone that never ever thought that I would ever have this many. But I made a goal for myself in January that I would try to hit 50 in the second quarter of the year. So that would have been just ending in June, and I did, just barely. And then it's just been slowly climbing since then. So it has been a really interesting experience, a really amazing ride, just getting to know so many teachers and being a part of getting them hired with VIPKid. And, that's probably my favorite part. People say, oh, the money's so good. Well, yes, you do get compensated, but I also tell people that a huge percentage of people do not go through with the process. Online ESL teaching is a really appealing job to so many people, but a lot of people, when they get to doing that demo or getting to do that mock class, they really get nervous, and if they don't have anyone supporting them, then they often bail out. And so, in terms of like average conversion rates, I would say like sometimes between 10 and 15% actually go through with it. So to get those numbers, you do have to have a lot of people that are signing up. So yeah, so that is kind of my recruiting journey in a nutshell. I wanted to talk a little bit about the VIPKid referral policy, which I think will interest a lot of people because there definitely is a lot of chatter about that, or at least there was. And, I'm still kind of working through what it means and what it'll mean for me, but I'm going to drop a link in here. And if you're a VIPKid teacher, you can access this. So this document goes over the new referral policies, and I'm going to kind of give you like a broad overview of it and then go through some specifics of how it has affected people and what it means, if that makes any sense. So let's talk about the new referral guidelines from a general sense. What VIPKid really wants is for recruiting to be done on a more personal level. So before, they had very high milestones. They still do until December the 31st, but they had very high milestones, or have very high milestones. If you're able to successfully recruit 300 teachers in a quarter, then you can get $30,000 as a milestone bonus on top of your $100 per recruit. So it does definitely become pretty lucrative, especially in those higher numbers. And so when you offer those higher incentives to teachers, you really are, a lot of teachers are going to do whatever they can to get to those higher numbers. And so I think VIPKid has tried to kind of curtail a lot of that and bring it down to a little bit less commercial, and just to reel some of those practices that were happening onto a more personal level, so that VIPKid maintains its brand and is appealing to teachers. Because I think that I've heard from teachers that would view VIPKid from the outside, it could look like an MLM scheme because of the push for recruiting and people's referral links out there and things like that. So the whole gist of their new policy is that they want recruiting to be done on a more personal level. Okay, so if we read a little further, it says referral codes and links may not be used for commercial purposes. Referral codes and links must be shared with third parties that you know personally, such as your friends and family. You agree not to solicit, spam, or mass email anyone who you do not know personally, who you do not personally know with your referral code or link. And so some of the specifics that speaks to is they don't want people creating paid job posts, for example. So you cannot go into a Facebook. You can't go on Facebook and create an ad and pay for, Facebook to promote that or boost that post. You can't pay for Facebook ads to boost your post so that it targets certain people. VIPKid already does that with their ads, and so that's they don't want other people promoting their referral code through boosted ads. They also don't want people purchasing keywords. So that would be, if you were on Google and you search for VIPKid and you see that first link at the top, that link you might think is a VIPKid link that is going to the VIPKid website, but actually it's a teacher's referral link. So that's another thing that they don't want teachers doing. They don't want teachers to be paying for Google ads to boost keywords like VIPKid when, and then that person signs up with someone and doesn't even realize that they've done that. So they also don't want you misrepresenting the company. So, calling yourself a VIPKid recruiter or a VIPKid coach or a VIPKid mentor, those kinds of titles really are not given to us by VIPKid. And so from the outside, somebody who is wanting to get into the company might think that you are officially hired or officially with the company and might be able to provide, inside support and things like that. So that's another thing that they don't want to have happen. And that was a practice that was happening out there on the internet. They don't want registered, this was one of the ones that impacted me. They don't want registered URLs with VIPKid in them. So your website domain name cannot have VIPKid in it. And so I had to change mine from VIPKidBootcamp.com to OnlineTeacherDude.com. My cat is going crazy. Say hello. She's my YouTube star with me. All right, 18 people in here. Thanks everybody for coming. We're just talking about the recruiting changes that happened in October with VIPKid, and a little bit about how I do recruiting now and what I will be doing going forward, and just some tips for recruiting in general. So thanks. Please give me a like in the below the video if you can. That's so much appreciated. Thanks everybody. Wow, 20 people in here. Awesome. Please type any questions you have about recruiting or anything that you're wondering about. I would love to help. So in addition to that, they don't want, I don't really know what this means, duplicating your referral code, but I think that there may have been some things going on that VIPKid kind of wanted to squish and change a little bit. And so they're kind of cleaning up what was out there on the internet. Okay, so when I saw all of this, I was really quite startled by it all. It really kind of came, in my opinion, out of nowhere. And I felt like, VIPKid had incentivized recruiting. When I got into that referral club, they really pushed recruiting. I mean, if you have been with VIPKid for a while, you know that there has been so much in terms of referring incentives. And if you remember back to February, this is really what helped springboard me. They had an interview incentive that for every person you had to get signed up to an interview, I think you got like $15. And my goal that month was to get 30 people signed up for an interview. I couldn't believe that I would ever hit that, but I did. And that was a really nice incentive. They've had other incentives. I'll talk about one that they're having right now, actually, for a free iPad. But they really encouraged recruiting, and they made those referral clubs to support referring teachers that were referring in higher numbers. They had Club Orange, which is the 5 top recruiting teachers. Then they had Club Yellow, which I was in, and then Club Blue, which was I think the sort of overall top 50. And so you only really needed to have 2 or 3 in a quarter to get into Club Blue. And I think the last quarter that they had the clubs, if you had 3 at minimum, then you were automatically in that club. They gave swag. They gave they mailed us stuff. They gave us webinars exclusively for referral club members to learn about the process and to kind of have an inside scoop on what was going on. And it was exciting. I remember being really excited about recruiting. And then October 1st came. And I was totally blown away with all of this. I was confused. I was scared to, all of a sudden, all my YouTube videos, what was I supposed to do with those videos that had my referral link in them? Was I supposed to immediately go and change them all? And what was I going to do about my Facebook group and my website? And it was just all coming down all at the same time. And really, it was really upsetting. So, as all things that seem to be drastic in the beginning, it it changed a little bit throughout the week and weeks following as we learned a little bit more about what VIPKid was really intending with the changes, and that certain things didn't have to change as drastic as we had thought. So, for example, and to answer you, Danny, yes. So you can still have your referral link on your YouTube video. So for me, YouTube and Facebook, they are my personal networks. I do not know every single person that signs up with my link personally. They are not my personal friend that I have known for a long time, but many of them do become friends, and they are connected with me through my network. So, I am not paying for ads and doing all of those things, misrepresenting the company or things like that. People find me and they sign up with me, and VIPKid is completely fine with that. We're allowed to have our referral links on our YouTube videos. What they don't want is all of those things that I mentioned earlier that, kind of borderline a little bit sketchy. So, yeah. So that happened in October. And as we've kind of been learning about those changes, they aren't as drastic as we had originally thought. So they just want VIPKid to be a little bit more personal, and they're going to be incentivizing smaller scale recruiting. So my guess is, and this is just a guess and a prediction based on what I've seen, is that in January, we're probably going to see the milestone structure. Well, we've been told we're going to see the milestone structure change, and we're probably going to see those big numbers change, and they may not even be there anymore. So I don't know what the new milestone structure is going to look like, but I have a feeling that it's going to benefit teachers who are recruiting in smaller numbers. So there is an option for referring teachers who recruit in higher numbers to become an affiliate with VIPKid. So it used to be that teachers could not become affiliates, but now teachers can become affiliates. And I have an affiliate account now, and I'm investigating the best route going forward based on the new milestone structure and like my current numbers and things like that. So I have that option if I wanted to do larger scale recruiting come January the 1st. Two changes that happened that I wanted to talk about, if you've noticed in the referral tracker, are that number one, referral emails have disappeared. Did anyone know that? Have you had any referrals in your tracker and you've noticed that you can't access their email anymore? Yeah. So that's really difficult. It's really, really difficult because I used to take their email address and their name, and I would put them into my own spreadsheet, and then I would reach out to them with an email. And I can't do that anymore unless they reach out to me first. The second thing that has changed in the last 2 days, they said it was going to happen on October the 1st, but it hasn't actually happened until 2 days ago, is that a referral or a potential teacher cannot add your code after they've done the demo lesson. Okay, so if they have done the demo lesson, they cannot add your code into their account. If they've signed up and they have not done the demo lesson and they don't have a referring teacher, then they can add your code. If they have signed up and they've done the demo lesson, then they cannot add your code. So I'm still working out how I'm going to navigate that, because I do get a lot of people who reach out to me and want to add my code after they've done the demo lesson. So those are two things that I'm finding difficult to get around and to navigate. But what I've done to kind of alleviate the email address thing is I have on all my videos that they need to reach out to me with an email. And so I do get most people sending me an email first saying, hey, I've used your code, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm able to email them back. But I do get a lot of people that, you know, they never reach out to me and I'm never able to contact them. And oftentimes they never move forward. So that's really a shame. And I do wish that VIPKid would bring those email addresses back. Now, Gogokid, I thought someone wrote something about Gogokid. Yes, Danny says Gogokid is not hiding email addresses anymore, but VIPKid still is. Right. So Gogokid they were hiding email addresses for about 5 days, I think, a couple of weeks ago. And then they brought them back. So it's kind of funny. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Is that a breach of privacy to remove email addresses? How would you feel if you were signing up for something and you got an email? Would you want that? I'm just curious. Just my opinion. Many of us want to refer, but it's not that easy. And with limited time, it may not be a priority. Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, many teachers don't want to refer. And that is, you know, that's totally cool. You don't have to refer at all. You can teach, do your classes, and that's awesome. Like, this is just another thing that, you know, some teachers do enjoy doing, and some teachers, even if it's just something like you want an extra couple of referrals every quarter, or you know, one a month or something like that, it definitely is a nice way to add to your paycheck every month, right? And I think if that's something that you're looking for, you know, I want to talk about some tips on recruiting as well in a minute. As for not being able to add the code after the demo is passed, I mean, it is what it is. They can't do it anymore. So, you know, the only solution really is if they really want to work with you and you've got someone who maybe is on the mock stage, then the only way that they can be your referral is if they reapply with a brand new email address. And most people don't want to go through that because they've already done that demo, the live or the smart demo lesson or something, or attended a FastPass event, you know, and then they're probably not going to want to, you know, reapply and stuff like that. So, but that is, from what I can see, the only way that you can get connected, or they can get connected to you. About emails, can't they ask the person signing up? Cindy asks, as they sign up, they could put a box. Do you want your email? Yeah, sent to this referring teacher. Yeah, good point. That is a good point, Cindy. And another thing I thought about, and I've suggested this through a couple of tickets, is why not have a messaging system within the VIPKid portal so that, you know, I could communicate with a referral without having their contact information, and they could communicate with me and give it to me if that's something that they wanted. So yeah, Cindy had one person reapply. Great. All right. I asked earlier who had referrals, and just want to scroll back up and see what you said. I can't find it. Okay. Oh, this is a new one. I don't have those old messages. So yeah, tell me who's had a referral for VIPKid or Gogokid, or are you interested in you know, getting your first referral? I love talking to people about just how you can do that. And you know, when I look back on this year and see that the numbers that I've been able to get and just the people that I've been able to help, it's just so encouraging and, you know, really exciting to be able to build this. Cindy's had 4 referrals. Great. Kelly's had 1 VIPKid referral and 2 Gogokid referrals. Lori's had 7 referrals. Oh, great, Lori. Neat. Lori, I don't know your, do you have a YouTube channel? Wonder if Gogokid will follow the Cali law. Yeah, I wonder about that too. I have a teacher who reached out to me yesterday and I said, oh, you've got like 4 days. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to get you in that quick. And I have another teacher, actually a teacher friend here, who's coming over to see my setup. She's American. She's from California, but all of her banking and tax stuff is in Massachusetts. So I wonder if she will qualify. I think it has to do with taxes. Gogokid doesn't have a home office in USA, so they don't have to follow it. Oh, interesting. Okay, quickly, let's go over some referring tips. These are things that I really find are helpful. So I hope that if you want to refer and recruit, and you want to maybe, just on a very small scale level or whatever level you want to go for, that these will be helpful. So a lot of people ask me, geez, how did you get 200 people? How do you even get like 2 people? They're struggling to figure out how that can even be done. I will say that, most of the top recruiters have very large YouTube channels, big followings. And so a lot of referrals do, especially for me, do come from my YouTube videos. And it was just really about creating videos that potential teachers were searching for. So I started creating videos that targeted the keywords that teachers would be searching for. So, VIPKid Smart Demo Lesson, or VIPKid Mock Lesson A Walkthrough, VIPKid Live Interview, VIPKid Recorded Demo, things like that. And that has really helped my channel to grow, because I have a lot of new teachers that come to me through that. So Cindy says, I want my husband to try it, so I am glad you have this as a male teacher. Yes. Yep. And I have a lot of people. This is one of my recruiting tips, is give more than you take. I give a lot of advice and a lot of suggestions and talk to a lot of teachers that are not my referrals. And I try to give more to the community than, taking. And so I think for me, that has just been something that is just part of who I am and who I want to be to potential teachers. So, just being generous, giving of your time, giving of your resources, and good things come in all aspects of life, right? When you give more than you take to anything. Hello, Take a Chill, Phil. I love the name. Hey, Antonio. Are you not afraid that by sharing you'll lose some of your pool? Do you mean lose some of my pool of students? If students, definitely not, because VIPKid wants needs teachers, and is definitely still wanting teachers to recruit. So they're recruiting anyway. Like they oftentimes people find me, when they're just beginning the process. So I'm not getting into necessarily promoting it with people that have never heard about it. And VIPKid is, they're ultimately the ones that are doing the hiring. They have their target numbers, and they have their, goals, and they are trying to reach, other countries and get into, other markets. So no, definitely don't feel that I'm losing my pool. I haven't noticed that. I do know that like teachers have seen different booking rates come and go. It's really hard to say like why that is happening, but no, I don't feel that way. Potential referrals. Potential referrals. I'm losing your question, friend. Sorry. Where is it? Ask me again. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, I see. Encouraging other people to recruit. No, because if you think about it, like VIPKid probably gets thousands of people applying every day. So no, I don't think so. Any other? Let me have a look here. Okay, so let's talk about recruiting tips. So what works for me is online. Really, that's where people are searching. And so I would encourage you, if you are thinking about recruiting, to look at online spaces, and where are people hanging out that want this kind of job? Where are potential VIPKid teachers hanging out? And for me, it's been on YouTube and on Facebook. Those have been the main ways that people find me. And so another thing I say is create relevant content. So create content that referrals or teachers are going to be looking for. And so that's, how I did it with my videos. And you need to kind of understand keywords and what people are searching for. So think back to when you were looking for the job. What were you searching into YouTube, or what were you putting into your Facebook groups and things like that, or into Google itself. So my second tip is to be authentic and to tell your story. I actually rarely, if ever, share my referral link on Facebook. Occasionally I do, but it's usually attached to a post that has some kind of a story in it, or it's me sharing an experience or a thought about working online. And I do see a lot of people who will comment on a post, or comment or post something with just their referral link, and that I have found doesn't work. To me, that just looks a little bit spammy, and I think if I was someone who was trying to get hired, I'd kind of wonder why there's all these links out there. And so for me, when I do post on Facebook, I generally don't share a referral link. I'll share my website, I'll share my Facebook group, I'll share an anecdote or a story, or I'll give more information about the job. I don't just put a referral link. So that's how I kind of do my postings or sharing. Danny says, we're not in competition at all, I feel. So many people out there. If you put yourself out there, someone will like you. Exactly, Danny. And, I get a lot of male teachers that look for me because of my videos and because I am a male. I get Canadians that find me because I'm Canadian. I get travelers that find me because I am a traveler and, travel a lot and work online. So that is appealing to people. You see that cat right there? She's just making a mess with her food. But yeah, so, the people that are going to connect with you will find you, and I won't reach everybody, and nor should I be able to reach everybody, right? So there really are people for everyone, for sure. Good point, Danny. Kelly says, I post my moments hoping someone will ask about it. Good one. Take a chill, Phil. I'm moving back to the US from Japan, where I've been teaching for the last 7 years. Will VIPKid try to start me out at the bottom of the pay scale? Should I just apply at a Japanese customer base? I'm moving back to the US from Japan, where I've been teaching for the last 7 years, which I'm at the bottom of the pay grade. Well, I mean, in terms of the way you start out with VIPKid, I'm assuming your name is Phil, is that you will start with a base rate pay, and it's based on your experience, your credentials, and your interview. So it doesn't really have anything to do with where you live at all. So yeah, if you, it's definitely a great industry to get into, though. Okay, tips on recruiting. I also would suggest, if you're interested in recruiting, to have some kind of an offering for referrals. So, what are you going to offer them or give them in terms of, when they sign up with you? Do you have a little checklist of things that you need? Do you have a video that you made about the process? People want things broken down. And one thing I hear and see so much is that when they get on with VIPKid, they're like, what's next? There's no human being to kind of come alongside, put their arm around them and walk them through step by step. VIPKid does a pretty good job of emailing and, constantly throwing a lot of things at people. And so it sort of can be a little bit overwhelming. So have an offering, is it a website? For me, it was a website, a Facebook group. My other tip is to be present. And as I said, to give more than you take. So just be available to them, and just be generous of your time and resources. And, they will be so grateful, and the help that they're getting will, hopefully help them to get hired. And I tell people to think about what you needed when you got hired. So what was missing for you in the process when you were applying that, you wished you had? And so if that was missing for you, it's probably missing for them as well. And so provide that for them. And, for me, it was breaking down the process in a simple way. And so that's what I really try to do with referrals is, I invite them into my small group coaching, if that's something that they want to take part in, or if they want to, just go to my website and download my my hiring guide, and that has all the information for them. I have a video course as well that I've put together, that walks them through step by step. So break the process down for them. And finally, only recruit if you enjoy it. If this is not something that you'd enjoy, then don't do it. You don't need to do it. There's VIPKid is not something that you need to recruit for. You can teach and do your classes and have a great time doing that, and that is perfectly fine. So if you enjoy recruiting, go for it. And like anything you do, it should be something that you enjoy. I love recruiting. I don't have any sales background. I don't have any marketing background. I've learned everything on my own, and I love the learning every day of just things like, building my website and figuring out how to be more searchable on Google and creating blog posts and, creating content that's helpful for teachers and, managing a Facebook group and things like that. So I've just had so much fun with the journey of building my brand and building my business. And one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is, as this referral stuff has changed, is, what kind of a house have I built? Have I built a house on sand that could crumble any day? I mean, we don't know in this industry what can happen. And so for me, I've been, just mindful of building a brand for myself, online teacher dude, with my website and my YouTube channel and my Instagram, and, putting effort into that, and thinking of other ways that I can service online teachers. It doesn't have to just be recruiting. So those are things that are kind of mulling around in my head these days. Let's have a look at some questions. Leslie. Hey, Leslie. I saw you earlier, I think. How do you stay motivated to keep referring when so many people apply but don't follow through? Yeah, I mean, I go to the expression, you win some, you lose some. For me, it's been great because I have seen a higher conversion rate with my referrals because I've been able to offer them, things that have helped them get hired. And so I probably see a higher conversion rate than teachers that don't have any referring teacher helping them. I'd probably get about 20%, 20 to 25% that end up getting through. And many don't ever teach their first class as well. So that is also something that, you've worked with this person all the way along, and then you don't actually get the referral bonus because they never taught their first class. So that can happen as well. Yeah, I mean, it can be discouraging, but you just have to move along and just keep showing up for the ones that you are working with. And, hopefully you've helped them get this great job that they never would have had before. So the stories and the relationships that I've been able to build through this have just definitely outweighed, the negative ones, I guess. So let's have a look at the chat. Danny's got business cards. Great, Danny. Do you find that successful? Yes, thanks, Leslie. You were the one that nominated me for the Beijing trip. I appreciate that so much. I obviously did not get it. Danny, because I wear my hoodie and people ask. Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of people who, wear their VIPKid clothing and, are out and about at the gym or at work, and people get the word of VIPKid through them. So that's cool. Kelly says, Teacher Danny, didn't you have someone teach the first class months later? Well, I certainly have had people do that. And it's really exciting when you see them teach their first class. They, for whatever reason, people sometimes sign up with VIPKid and it's just not the right time for them. They're just not ready. And so it can take a little while for them to feel ready. And so sometimes months later, they do get the motivation to teach. So just want to see if I've missed anything. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Is everybody cooking? Evelyn, what are you making? You said you had made some birthday cake, deviled eggs, corn on the cob, stuffing, mashed potatoes. Yum. Where is my invitation for dinner? That sounds amazing. Yes, Kelly, no, Tim, no local referrals have followed through. Yeah, I think it really is online that is the best for finding people or for people finding you. So I've just been getting into Gogokid referring a little bit more. Oh, I wanted to talk about, yeah, so they're really incentivizing recruiting right now. I'm not sure of the dates because I think I had one person teach their first class in the window, but if you had a certain number for Gogokid, you were able to make like $190 per teacher. So that's really cool. But VIPKid has an iPad contest right now that if you are one of the top 3, stick it here, who refer the most teachers in this window of time, I think it ends soon, then you will win an iPad. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I can't post this link in here. Anyway, it's in the weekly update. No, I think the link is too long. I can't post it. I think it's in the weekly update. Yes, Gogokid is hiring a lot of people right now. They definitely are, definitely hiring. And the question I posed in the beginning was, is VIPKid still wanting teachers to refer and recruit? And yes, they absolutely are. We're seeing it in the weekly update every week. There's something about recruiting. There's something about a referral incentive or the iPad contest as well. So yes, it is hard to get interview slots at Gogokid, Kelly, for sure. I tell my referrals for Gogokid that they should prepare for the interview in advance, like, as best as they can, be fully prepared, and then go in and look for an interview. Because sometimes that interview can crop up at the very last minute and they've only got, 2 or 3 hours to get ready, or it's in the middle of the night, or, it's at an inconvenient time. So I always say prepare first for the interview, then go on and schedule one. And you're going to have to sometimes sit there and refresh, but they do come available. They're just not as available initially like they are with VIPKid. So what are the best, Crimson Moon, what are the best months for applying at VIPKid and Gogokid? December or January? I would say the best months for applying at VIPKid really is any month. I mean, both companies are hiring. There's no hiring freeze with either company. But the slower months would be summer and December in terms of the amount of teachers that are getting hired. I just look at my own referral numbers. Like those are the months that I see a bit of a dip. I see a lot of teachers maybe applying in September and in the new year as well. So, but I think Christmas is probably a slower time to get hired, or what the amount of people that are applying. But any month is a good month to apply for VIPKid. So thanks everybody. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would so appreciate that. And give a thumbs up to the video. Thank you to the 9 people who have liked this. Appreciate it so much. And yeah, what is everyone? Is everyone just getting ready for Thanksgiving? What are you guys doing today? Scrolling through here. Okay. Great. Well, I've been on for almost an hour and I wanted to keep it to half an hour. So I'm going to let you guys go. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And I wish you a great day. And thanks so much for coming. Hope to be able to do more of these in the future. And thanks to all my friends who I go to their lives and watch. And I'm always thinking, geez, I need to do a live. I need to do a live. I just never know what to do. And then I get all nervous about doing a live. So it's great to have the encouragement of other people who also go live as well. And I hope I get better at these, but I don't know why. It's just so strange. I wish we were all just in a room and I could talk to you all, but it's kind of fun and it's been great listening to your comments. And if you are watching this, I'm going to probably post this up on my channel. If you're watching this afterwards and you're interested in Gogokid or VIPKid, you want to chat about getting hired, I would love to talk to you about that and mentor you through the process. My information will be below, my email address and sign up links. So thanks everybody. Happy Thanksgiving and see you next time. Goodbye.